We do continue to follow the breaking news, and you're taking a live look right now outside of a baseball park in Alexandria, Virginia, where a gunman opened fire, wounding four people. One of those is Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise. We also know that a congressional aide to a Texas representative was also wounded, and two Capitol police officers were shot as well. That shooting now, according to congressional and law enforcement sources, they are now referring to it as a deliberate act.
We want to go ahead and bring in our crime and safety analyst, Gil Smith, who is joining us by the phone. Gil, I know, when you're hearing about how all this unfolded today, one of the first questions that comes to mind is about the security. Now, we have heard from several different lawmakers that were there on the scene, and they are saying that if Scalise had not been there, that this would have been a massacre, because the only reason that they had Capitol officers at this practice was because he is the majority whip and he does have security detail.
Right. That's something that they may need to change whenever they have a large group of congressmen, either from the House or from the Senate, that they probably need to have a security detail there. Now, it's unclear whether Scalise was the actual target or the intended target of the shooting. That's unknown right now. But as these incidents tend to increase, I'm sure that they'll provide security. They already provide it in the House chambers. Whenever they're having congressional meetings, there is very tight security there. Now, off the Capitol grounds, whenever they're involved in any type of event like this, a softball practice, or whenever there is a large group of congressmen around, they will probably increase security.
Yeah, Gil, as a former law enforcement, you tried from JSO with more than 20 years experience. I mean, how do you even provide any kind of security or safety to anybody in this kind of venue?
It's very difficult. I mean, we were talking about the Pulse nightclub shooting last week, and I remember getting that message across that, yes, they train for these type of incidents, but each venue is going to be different. You really can't get full training each time based on previous events. So you really have to look at each venue, each event separately, and plan for security measures. Now, of course, when the president travels, if he were, of course, traveling to that stadium, or let's say the president was involved in the softball practice, then you would have had Secret Service who would have been there a day or two prior, to check out the grounds, have bomb-sniffing dogs, and check out the entire area. They don't go to that type of detail with this congressman because there's so many of them, and they're spread out all over the country. But especially when they're in Washington, D.C., I'm sure they're going to change the protocol to check out these venues. They had a softball. They were practicing today, and the game was actually scheduled for tomorrow. Now, I'm not sure if they would have had a more increased security detail there tomorrow or actually searching the ground, but it's something that they are probably going to do from here on out.
Senator Rand Paul is saying that this, again, would have been a massacre without those Capitol police officers there. And another reason is because even though both were wounded, they continued to pursue that shooter and try to get the situation under control. Just your professional reaction to that, because in those tense moments and when you're injured, that has to be a very difficult thing, and that training comes into play.
That's just the heart of a police officer. That's just the way police officers work. When a police officer, when they raise their right hand and take the oath to protect the lives and property of their community, it's not something that policemen and women take lightly. They take that oath very seriously, and they do that to the end. I've been in situations where someone was shooting, and everyone in the area, I was working off duty at a restaurant, everyone hit the ground, and I was the only one standing. Of course, naturally, when someone is shooting, you want to protect yourself and your family and take cover. But when you're a police officer, there's just a different sense of responsibility that you have to protect people. No matter what happens to you, you have to keep going no matter what, to do everything that you can to stop the shooter. That's just something that's ingrained in all police officers.
It's why they do what they do, and we appreciate it so much. News4JAX crime and safety analyst and former JSO police officer Gil Smith joining us on the phone. Thank you, Gil, for your perspective.